Hi, this is Dr. Liang Ding. This lecture is for elasticity. In this chapter, we have 4 sessions. The first session is on the price elasticity of demand. The price elasticity of demand measures how strongly buyers respond to a change in the price of a good. The price elasticity of demand can be used to make quantitative predictions of how changes affect the price and the quantity demanded of a good. The second session is on the factors that influence the elasticity of demand and the relationship between the total revenue and elasticity. The third session is on the income elasticity of demand and the cross elasticity of demand. The income elasticity of demand measures how strongly demanders respond to a change in income, and the cross elasticity of demand measures how strongly demanders respond to the change in the practice of another good. The fourth session is on the elasticity of supply. The price elasticity of supply measures how strongly producers respond to a change in the price of a good. Let's study the detail. Anyone who studied economics knows the law of demand. A higher price will lead to a lower quantity demanded. What you may not know is how much lower the quantity demanded will be. Similarly, the law of supply states that a higher price will lead to a higher quantity supplied. The question is, how much higher? This chapter will explain how to answer these questions and why they are critically important in the real world. To find answers to these questions, we need to understand the concept of elasticity. Elasticity is an economics concept that measures responsiveness of one variable to changes in another variable. Suppose you drop 2 items from a second-floor balcony. The first item is a tennis ball. The second item is a brick, which will bounce higher, obviously tennis ball. We would say that the tennis ball has greater elasticity. Let's consider what happened in economics. You know that when supply decreases, the equilibrium price rises and the equilibrium quantity decreases. But does the price rise by a large amount or the quantity decrease by a little? Or does the price barely rise and the quantity decrease by a large amount? The answer depends on the responsiveness of the quantity demanded of a good to a change in its price. The price elasticity of demand is a units-free measure of the responsiveness of the quantity demanded of a good to a change in its price when all other influences on buying plans remain the same. The price elasticity of demand is calculated by using the formula. The price elasticity of demand equals to percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by percentage change in the price. In practice, to calculate the price elasticity of demand, we express the change in price as a percentage of the average price, the average of the initial and the new price. And we express the change in the quantity demanded as a percentage of the average quantity demanded, the average of the initial and the new quantity. Let's try to calculate the price elasticity of demand for pizza. Initially, the price of a pizza is $20.50, and the quantity demanded is 9 pizzas an hour. The price then falls to $19.50 a pizza, and the quantity demanded increases to 11 pizzas an hour. The new point. When the price falls by $1 a pizza, then the quantity demanded increases by 2 pizzas an hour. To calculate the price elasticity of demand, we express the change in price as a percentage of the average price and the change in the quantity demanded as a percentage of the average quantity. By using the average price and the average quantity, we calculate the elasticity at the point on the demand curve midway between the original point and the new point. The original price is $20.50, and the new price is $19.50. So the price change is $1, and the average price is $20 a pizza. The percentage change in price is calculated as the change of price divided by the average price times 100, which is 5%. The original quantity demanded is 9 pizzas, and the new quantity demanded is 11 pizzas. So the quantity change is 2 pizzas, and the average quantity demanded is 10 pizzas. The percentage change in quantity demanded is calculated as the change of quantity divided by the average quantity times 100, which is 20%. The price elasticity of demand equals the percentage change in quantity demanded 20% divided by the percentage change in price 5% and is 4. There are some notes about elasticity. Please notice that we used average price and average quantity. We do this because it gives the most precise measurement of elasticity at the middle point between the original price and the new price. If the price falls from $20.50 to $19.50, the $1 price change is 4.9% of $20.50. The 2 pizza change in the quantity is 22.2% of 9 pizzas, the original quantity. So if we use these numbers, the price elasticity of demand is 22.2 divided by 4.9, which equals 4.5. But if the price rises from $19.50 to $20.50, then $1 price change is 5.1% of $19.50. The 2 pizza change in quantity is 18.2% of 11 pizzas, the original quantity. So if we use these numbers, the price elasticity of demand is 18.2 divided by 5.1, which equals to 3.6. By using percentages of the average price and average quantity, we get the same value for the elasticity regardless of whether the price falls from $20.50 to $19.50 or rises from $19.50 to $20.50. Percentages and proportions. Elasticity is the ratio of 2 percentage changes. So when we divide 1 percentage change by another, the 100s cancel. A percentage change is a proportionate change multiplied by 100. The proportionate change in price is the change of price divided by average price. And the proportionate change in the quantity demanded is change of quantity divided by average quantity. So if we divide change of quantity over average quantity by change of price over average price, we get the same answer as we get by using percentage changes. Elasticity is a units-free measurement. Now that you have calculated a price elasticity of demand, you can see why it is a units-free measure. Elasticity is a units-free measure because the percentage change in each variable is independent of the units in which the variable is measured. The ratio of the two percentages is a number without units. Minus sign and elasticity. When the price of a good rises, the quantity demanded decreases. Because a positive change in price brings a negative change in the quantity demanded, the price elasticity of demand is a negative number, but it is the magnitude or absolute value of the price elasticity of demand that tells us how responsive the quantity demanded is. So to compare price elasticities of demand, we use the magnitude of the elasticity and ignore the minus sign. In addition, demand can be inelastic, unit elastic, or elastic, and it can be ranged from 0 to infinite, and it can be ranged from 0 to infinity. If the quantity demanded doesn't change when the price changes, the price elasticity of demand is 0, and the good has a perfectly inelastic demand. One good that has a very low price elasticity of demand, perhaps 0 over some price range, is insulin. Insulin is of such importance to some diabetic that if the price rises or falls, they do not change the quantity they buy. This figure illustrates the case of a good that has a perfectly inelastic demand. The demand curve is vertical. If the percentage change in the quantity demanded equals the percentage change in the price, then the price elasticity equals 1, and the good is said to have a unit elastic demand. This figure illustrates this case, a demand curve with ever declining slope. If the quantity demanded changes by an infinitely large percentage in response to a tiny price change, then the price elasticity of demand is infinity, and the good is said to have a perfectly elastic demand. This figure illustrates the case of perfectly elastic demand, a horizontal demand curve. An example of a good that has a very high elastic of demand, almost infinite, is a soft drink from two campus machines located side by side. If the two machines offer the same soft drinks for the same price, some people buy from one machine and some from the other. But if one machine's price is higher than the others, by even a small amount, no one buys from the machine with the higher price. Drinks from the two machines are perfectly substitutes. The demand for a good that has a perfect substitute is perfectly elastic. If the percentage change in the quantity demanded is smaller than the percentage change in price. The price elasticity of demand is less than 1, and the good has inelastic demand. If the percentage change in the quantity demanded is greater than the percentage change in a price, the price elasticity of demand is greater than 1. The good has elastic demand. This is the end of session 1.